Hi, this is Kamala. Welcome to this episode of the She Moves Mountains podcast. Today's episode is entitled, Your Body is Talking to You, but Are You Listening? And this episode is based on an incident that happened to me very recently that I'm a little hesitant to share about, but I feel like it's very important for a lot of us who have a lot going on in the world. We're working so hard and our minds are so active and so driven that we may not be paying attention to the messages that our bodies are sending to us. We're not listening to them, even though they are talking to us a lot. You've probably heard of the situations or jobs where people say it's like a pressure cooker. And if you remember those old-time pressure cookers, they were those big, heavy metal pots with handles that locked and had little caps that let out the steam psh, psh, as the pressure in the pot increased. I remember as a kid watching the little cap almost dance around as it was letting out the steam. And my mother was always warning us, don't get too close, stay away from the pressure cooker because it could blow and the steam would cause burns. So we know that the pressure cookers can be very intense and can be harmful, dangerous even. Now, the reason that I'm talking about the pressure cooker is that a couple of weeks ago, I had the experience of allowing so much pressure to build that I blew my top. I don't get this angry very often, but boy, it was bad. I was so angry and so frustrated. I was dropping the F-bomb every other sentence, and that's really rare for me. But I was so angry. I could barely stand being in my own skin. I was so riled up, and it was ugly. Now, if I had been paying attention to what my body had been telling me for a couple of months, I might not have had to deal with the mess that I created. Because for months, I had been noticing that I'd be driving or working on a project, and I was aware that my jaws were tight, that my teeth were clenched. And I've had this experience enough in my life to know that when I'm biting down that hard, it's because I'm angry about something or biting something back. So I'm not speaking my truth. I'm not expressing something that needs to be expressed. And each time I caught myself with my teeth clenched like that, I'd make a note and I'd open my mouth and move my jaw around, massage the muscle that holds the jaw together, and think, boy, I must have something going on that I'm angry about. But I didn't explore it much further than that. Now, I was aware that there were a lot of little things that were not going my way, things that had started to irritate me, assignments that were missed, deadlines that didn't happen, experiences that weren't what I had expected, some issues with my husband, a number of expenses that had come in, some car repairs, things that generally speaking were fairly minor, but they had begun to add up. And my teeth were clenched often. And then on top of that, I began to notice that my shoulders felt like I had bricks on them. But again, I was not listening to what my body was telling me. That I was angry, that I felt like I had the weight of the world on me. I wasn't asking for help. I wasn't stating what I needed. And I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier until the day that I just blew. My husband told me that he didn't think he'd ever seen me that angry. My coach mentioned that she was kind of relieved to see it because it was honest, but it was ugly. So the reason that I'm sharing this is that I think many of us go through life pretty much the same way. We think we have these experiences that irk us, but we can say, it's not that bad. It's not that big a deal. I don't want to talk about it now. It's only going to rock the boat. You know, those things that we think where we're just sweeping the annoyances under the rug. But it isn't healthy. So in this podcast, this episode, I'd like to invite you to take a couple of moments and just begin to notice how your body is feeling. We may not be able to decipher what it's saying, but we can at least recognize that there is some communication going on. You may have headaches. You may have those really sore jaw muscles or the teeth that are clenched. Your neck may feel like it has no motion to it at all. It's tight, or your shoulders are tight. Your chest may feel like it's clenched, like you have a vice grip around it. Your solar plexus may feel like it's been pummeled, or your stomach feel like it's in knots. Your hips may feel tight or sore, that the idea of bending over and stretching, it's like, ooh, your lower back may hurt. And then looking at your thighs, just noticing, in your calves, even your ankles and feet and toes. Now, when you have a chance, I suggest, giving yourself a massage or moving your shoulders around, moving your head and neck, moving your hips. Even if you're seated or driving, you can move from cheek to cheek, so to speak, and just get some motion in there. And when you have time to just ask yourself, what's going on here? Like me, are you not expressing something that's really important? Are you not asking for help? Are you sweeping something under the rug that needs to be said with a partner or a colleague or a friend? Do you feel like you just need to soak in love because your heart feels dry? It does take a little investigation and communication back and forth with the parts of our bodies that are sending us messages. So I really do invite you to take a little time in the next several days to pay more attention to your body. Drop out of your head for, just several minutes just to get to know what's going on here. What are the messages that the different parts of your body are trying to send? Because I can assure you, waiting until the pressure builds so much that you blow is not good. It's not good for you health-wise, and it is messy and painful and ugly. If you have someone in your life who you know is just experiencing a lot of stress, I would love it if you would share this episode with them, just to increase the awareness that we don't have to stay in so much pain and can really begin to listen to our bodies, become more aware of what is being communicated to us so that we can just have a better relationship with our body, which is trying its very best to help us, have a great life. Because we can't really have a great life if we're stuffing our emotions and our bodies are feeling tight, tense, dry, and unhappy. So thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you, whether you have some feedback or comments about this episode or any others, or suggestions for future episodes. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day. Take care. Until next week.